All right, guys. I feel some people are gonna drop in, but I want to say welcome to our next Discord AMA, the Panzer Perspective. Thanks for coming in. I believe this is our sixth Panzer Perspective, and every time we come on here, it's to discuss new news, what's coming in Panzer Dogs, all that good stuff. As you guys seen through the week, we dropped our roadmap, and we're going to be discussing a lot more in this AMA about the roadmap, the future of Panzer Dogs, and so on. But before we get started, I want to introduce our amazing guest today. You know them well. Would you like to introduce yourself, Daniel?
What up, dogs? It's me. I am Daniel. I am the product manager for Panzerdogs, and I'm here to spill some beans in the future.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. So, for all of you that have joined, this session is going to be recorded, so it will be on YouTube later. So, if you want to fact checks on things or if you want to re listen, feel free. At the end of this session, we will be giving away gems, so get your friend codes ready. Wink, wink. But yeah, I'm just going to dive into everything. Since we last hopped on, we released two new updates, I believe. The 1.18.8 and then the point 0.9. So with the newest update, we got the default dogs, which we discussed in the last AMA, and they look super cool. Someone in the chat is also even making a fanfic about the dogs. Daniel, what's your opinion on this?
I could not be happier because essentially our job is to write fanfic about the characters we make anyway for some stuff that is coming up. So it is wonderful to see that already these kind of bare bones characterizations are already making its way into hearts. More on that to come.
Yes, I think I'm gonna try to squeeze some of that out of you later. And yeah, of course, then also some things that we've put is the new garage, which looks super, super cool. You can even name your tank, which I think is really fun. It gives that personal touch to the garage. You can see more stats so on. We've also included more ad things and then extended the Panzer Pass Season 1. So that's like a bit of the update of what was most recent. Other than that, we have over 830k active wallets now, which is amazing. 6 million kills cumulative total. I believe that figure could go up. That was a last week figure. So and yeah, so more and more to discuss throughout the AMA. So I'm just going to drop straight into it, Daniel, and go into the roadmap. I have some questions prepared for you. If anyone in the audience has any questions while I am asking something, whether it's on a certain topic, we can stop midway, answer some questions, or leave them till the end. We'll just see how the flow goes. So yeah, Daniel, we've unloaded our next roadmap, which follows the Sunset team to conclude what will be happening for the end of 2023. And as we know, I think we have the Panzerdogs team have achieved a lot this year. So I want to first give out like a big round of applause to you guys on the team. It's been great. It's been an eventful year. Sui moving there, all that good stuff. So yeah, we are just about to reach the end, which is really fun. So first thing on the roadmap is what's in the next build, which is really exciting. So one thing, Daniel, that we've hinted at and shared things about is the upgrade system. So can you explain a bit about the upgrade system and how it might work to people in the audience who might know or maybe want to know more?
Fun news. In the past, the idea for the upgrade system was that you can earn in-game resources to upgrade your individual tank parts, both NFTs and in-game parts, to improve their stats, make them better, stronger. We have found a cool way to make it so that all NFTs are upgradable. So you are able to also upgrade your dogs, unlocking new abilities. You're able to upgrade all the clothing that they are wearing, unlocking even more cool abilities and stuff for your dogs. And on top of that, we are still allowing for the upgrading of individual tank parts. We are also working on future systems to enhance and further customize your tanks. But we are planning on rolling out a system soon. We are internally testing around with it. It is not yet ready to touch player's hand. It's a system where you are able to upgrade and customize all the tanks that you have to make them do even cooler stuff. In tandem with this huge upgrade system, we are also working on rebalancing all the tanks. We have seen a lot of feedback that some parts can feel underwhelming, and we agree. There are indeed some epic parts that do not feel that epic. So we are working on creating more interesting, unique, and diverse parts that also upgrade and change as you play the game more, allowing for even more new cool combinations, and also allowing you to unlock completely new abilities or gameplay features as you play a lot with the stuff you already own.
That is super cool. And in normal cases, I would say I'm a visual learner, but for this case, I'm going to say I'm an audible learner. Daniel, can you try out some examples of how this upgrade system could work? So let's say I have this cool tank part, level it up, make it even cooler. What type of abilities could it have potentially?
So The tank parts themselves only have abilities that are related to direct combat. So, for example, you level up a part and it just gains more HP, it gains more speed, the turret gains more damage, etc. And every so often you hit a milestone where you get a huge chunk of a cool secondary stat. This can be boost speed, stealth speed, resistance to a certain element type, hint, and a bunch of other stuff to further go into specific niches for each part. In addition to that, we are working out ways where you are able to further enhance the part by stuff that you choose what you want on to further customize whatever you want. So these further bonuses would be stuff like getting extra ammo, every third bullet lighting people on fire, tracks leaving a cool trail behind when something that poisons people or increases move speed of allies, a bunch of stuff.
That is super cool. I love the concept of like every third bullet being fire. That sounds like OP in its own way. You know, you're just waiting for those bullets to come, and also the fact of the more teamwork elements, as you said, like boosting your allies and so on. So that's super super
Yeah,
cool.
indeed, as we are moving finally out of alpha with a bunch of these systems done, we indeed want to focus more on actually creating a environment that allows for competitive play, thus meaning allows for team play. So yeah, we have a super fun, interesting coming few months when rolling all of this out.
And speaking of that super fun, interesting, cool months, the concept of idle earning is something that we've had questions about a lot, and I'm really, really stoked about this in terms of the gameplay. So I want to ask if you can reveal much about it, because we have mentioned idle earning is coming, but could you tell us a bit like how the earning system works? Is it like a fixed amount per day that I can earn, or does the amount differ depending on type of dog I have or tank I have, so on?
Yes, on all of these.
Okay, could you tell us
We
all?
are implementing we are implementing technically three, but two forms of earning systems. These are idle, so one is just every amount of time you get resources, you come back into the game, claim those. These are impacted by your account level and by the NFTs you have, their abilities, and how well you've upgraded all their equipment. See how I'm connecting two dots here? Because all the equipment is going to have abilities and bonuses that are related to idle earnings and progression speed. So allowing you to lower the cost of certain upgrades, allowing you to earn more, allowing you to get bonuses whenever you make a win, those types of things. In addition, we are splitting apart dogs from all the clothing that they are wearing. So the clothing has impact on whatever progression mechanic you want to have or which bonus you want to choose. And the dogs will provide both gameplay utility in the sense that they provide idle earnings and they provide some cool stuff that they can do in game. We are working on giving each individual dog abilities. This looks like passive abilities, like lowering the cost of certain things or earning more scrap, but also active abilities, like a super cool ultimate you can do in game to blow up the battlefield, heal your allies, give everybody a speed boost, or be unkillable for 3 seconds, stuff like that. All of these abilities will also be able to be further upgraded and customized based on however you want to play. So
That
you can truly make the NFT your own, both visually and in however you want to play with it.
that is a huge drop of stuff because normally we have the question like, oh, what's the utility? Will there be more utility coming? And I think you've just dropped like a whole bomb basically on the
Yes.
battlefield with saying that. That's super cool. And I like the fact that each dog is going to have its own unique ability and so on. Like, I don't know, for example, I can't wait to see J Dog's ability on the battlefield, you know? Are like colonial
In the,
abilities, like, are they all going to be specifically unique to the type of dog also, right?
yes. So, for example, currently my NFT that I currently have as my profile picture is Bappo, I believe. And Bappo will have a different ability than, for example, Fluffy or Schemer. But all Fluffies will have the same ability. And depending on how the owner of Fluffy decides to upgrade them, that changes or can have varying effects.
And that like adds a whole new level of customization to the game and your like game plan and stuff and where you want to go, what type of player you want to be and so on. So I think that's really good to see that this customization like aspect is coming, especially like really 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 soon. And of course too, like you just mentioned schemer, so I want to talk a bit.
I ain't even done
Oh,
because
continue.
that was just one feature.
Oh, continue. I
That
will
is
stop.
It's fine. It's fine. That is just purely what you get from idly not being in game every hour. What you can actively participate and choose in is you can have contracts. We have reworked the renting system so that you don't rent a contract to somebody else, but the game generates a bunch of cool contracts that you can send your NFTs out on. They'll be fighting in the trenches for a few hours and come back with precious loot, resources, currencies, all kinds of fun stuff. Depending on their level, the amount you've upgraded them, what quest it is, the difficulty of the contract, they can have varying amounts of stuff that they can bring back for you in varying amounts of time. But you are able to influence how fast they come back, how much stuff they earn, what type of stuff they earn, all by however you decide to upgrade your NFT.
That is sick. So like it all works into each other in the way. So like to do the upgrade system, like you're gonna have to have a lot of resources, and getting those resources is through the learning system, and it's like kind of a cycle in itself, right? And like it's a ulterior motive at the end of the day, having that in Panzerdogs to work towards going to what customization route you want your dog to be, right?
Exactly. You are able to earn all these resources through just idly waiting. You are able to earn them through playing matches. You are able to earn them through completing certain missions in the game. You are able to earn them in events or tournaments that we have. You can sometimes maybe give away some stuff in the Discord. We have dabbled with this concept a little bit with ingots, and we are expanding on it even further. This is also kind of why it's been really quiet about what specifics are going to happen, because all this stuff is very interconnected and has been worked on for a few months now. And now that everything is nearing the finish line, we can drop all of it in one huge go and say, this is all the stuff we're working on. This is what that means. This is how it impacts you and your NFTs.
And that's really cool, especially for the fact like what you're saying is like you can earn these stuff like through different playing styles. So whether you want to play on the battlefield or do the idle earning thing, so it gives, because we had a question earlier about someone who's more from the investor side of Panzer Dogs, right? And of course we have like our players, investors, we have a whole mix of different people interested in Panzer Dogs from every angle. So if I'm an investor, for example, I can just put my dog on idle earning, but if I'm an avid gamer, like I can just keep playing to get those resources. So that's super cool that there's different perspectives that you can see this from, and again going into that whole customization side of things. So can't wait for that big drop. And that's next build we're talking, right? Just to confirm.
It is coming out staggered because this is a bunch of systems that are interconnected. So I can't say exactly what is going to be in the next build. However, in the coming couple of months, we are dropping bits and pieces that will eventually build to all of this. So we'll be adding idle earnings, the upgrade system, adding more resources into the game, adding contracts. That will all come out staggered. I can currently not say if we are able to like fully get all of that done for one build and eat it in, or if we kind of keep everything behind the scenes on our side till everything works together. We can be fully transparent. We can, if it's closer to release, share gameplay footage of it. Maybe even make a community build that you're able to play if you're part of our community. That's all possible. The exact date of all of this is Q4, so the coming 3 months. But exactly when what will release is dependent on, if any, because it's a lot of interconnected systems. So if there's any technical difficulty with those.
Yeah, totally get it. And I think the community will be really hyped with the idea of having a build again, just a community build to test and give out all the like if there's any bugs, or just to see things early, because it's been a while since we've even had a Panzer Gaming Hour, so it'd be cool to get back on that track with things like that. And I see we have some questions. Shale is asking, will it be idle earnings for only scrap, or will we be getting Bolt soon, and any updates on Bolt?
To any updates on Bolt, we cannot say anything about it. To if you can only earn scrap, no, you're able to earn scrap, able to earn ingots, able to earn 3 new resources we are adding for upgrading your equipment, upgrading your tank, upgrading a bunch of stuff, as well as through certain bonuses or special missions you can unlock. You are able to earn other currencies, maybe even premium currencies. Hint, hint.
Love that, love that. And just to give an example, so let's say I have an like epic or rare dog or epic or rare tank, and I put it on idle earnings, so my chances then of getting an epic or rare ingot is higher, right? Is that how it's going to work?
No, it fully depends on whatever the ability is of your dog. So every dog will have different abilities and passives. So for example, a dog that I have could give me plus 10% chance of gaining epic ingots, but you could have one that gives you plus 25% of getting rare ingots, or getting a completely different resource, or increasing the amount of scrap you earn with 10%, or lowering the timer of the contract by 10%, stuff like that. It's all fully dependent on whatever bonus you want on your doggy.
Super cool. Okay, that clarifies it a bit. And then, yeah, you were just talking about abilities, and there's another question of what's your favorite dog ultimate ability? Do you want to spill that?
We're currently still in the concepting and testing out phase, so it's all still very prototype. But we are playing out with some fun ones. There is one that we're currently testing, or like thinking of, wherein. Okay. How do I say this without spilling a bunch of beans? Because the abilities are also connected to what the characterization of that dog is, and also connected to what tank they are going to drive, and a bunch of the new tanks that are coming out. Because we are turning every dog into a character with a personality and a role to play in the Panzerdogs army. So they have their own tank that they drive in the lore of Panzerdog, and they will have their own ability that fit that theme. For example, we are concepting out a character who is a wiener dog who sells hot dogs at the beach map. So his tank will be a hot dog stand, and his ultimate will be throwing a giant hot dog that rolls over the map and pushes people back. This is just a concept we have. This is not one that's actually fully in like further stage of development, but stuff like this. We're also making ones that get a giant laser beam, ones that shoot cluster bombs, ones that create a ring of fires around them, ones that do like super cool dash and dash through people and damage, bunch of cool stuff.
And I can agree totally on that. Like in the like marketing meetings or in the art meetings when we're expanding the Panzer lore, it's going to a crazy new level, and I think people are going to be really happy with it. And I can see a comment saying "hot dog emoji, please." So I think we got to work on that, Daniel.
I'll ping our artist.
And I want to get going on. If anyone has any questions on what we discussed earlier, drop it in the chat and we'll get to it in a bit. But another thing I want to bring up is the concept of cyber pills. So people might be familiar with that. For new players, what a cyber pill is basically if you had two Panzerdog NFTs and a cyber pill, you can merge them to get a cyber dog. Like you can see, my avatar has the cyber augmentation on its eye. So yeah, cyber pills were sold on the black market by Schemer, a well-known dog that you guys might know from the stealth missions on Discord. So Daniel, this new black market, what's going to be sold here? Do we have any cool new gimmicks with the black market? So on, what's coming with this?
We are adding on top of the black market what we currently have. We are expanding. We are reintegrating the labs. We're working on that, so making it so that you can use your pills on the Sui blockchain as well to create new cyberdogs. Cyberdogs have additional benefits, bonuses, and abilities compared to regular dogs. We are reintegrating the labs. We are expanding the shop, adding a bunch of cool, unique black market deals and resources you can get from that. And I think that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, that's cool. We'll leave the rest for when people see it in the actual black market. Then moving through what's coming next. Also, one big feedback point that I've seen multiple times with Panzerdog was like the speed boost system, and like how sometimes you couldn't control it or you weren't as sure when it was coming. Well, we listened and we are implementing it. So Daniel, could you tell the community a bit more how the boosting system is going to work from here on out?
Yes, we are experimenting with different ways of boosting. To make it more intentional and easier to control. Because currently it just kind of happens, and if you make a turn, you immediately stop, which feels Batman. So we are experimenting with a toggle, experimenting with a button you have to press, experimenting with different inputs. There's no set way yet, because we're still playtesting it internally. We are working with a stamina system, like how you could sprint in other games, where there's a bar with stamina, and you can use this to boost to your heart's content when you want, and not boosting just replenishes this meter. So you can be more tactical about engaging, or if somebody jumps you, disengage, and zoom around the map however you like. Because we have removed the sensitivity in turning corners, so you'll be fully able to start drifting all across the map turning super cool corners or making donuts while still boosting.
That's sick. That's sick. So I'm really excited to see how that goes, and maybe like we can show some sneak peeks of that when we work further on how it's actually going to look in game and stuff. You know, I think we've seen some stuff internally, but it would be cool to share it with the community too. And yeah, with sharing things to the community, we've been showing some new tanks recently. In the last AMA, you spilled some beans. You also said with emojis some ideas of new tanks. You mentioned tank balance earlier. I think we should like sneak peek another tank, Daniel. You down for this?
Which one do you have in mind?
I have one in three different colors in front of me. I'm gonna ask the community really quick, guys. I have a tank. Do you want to see the yellow, orange, or red version? I will let people in the AMA say. So, guys, which color do you want to see? Yellow, red, or orange? Okay, we got a red so far, guys. It's. I'm gonna drop it in like less than 1 minute. So red is winning. Red is winning. It's like a little auction in here, like a little poll. While people are saying stuff, Daniel, I want to go back to some questions. Someone asked, "Will you stay on all platforms?" That is correct, right?
Yes, we are focusing more on mobile devices. We do not intend to fully stray away from the web version. However, there are just some limitations that come with supporting both because they function so very differently. So in the future, this might change. As of now, we are still fully on board with supporting both platforms. We do see that the vast majority of our users are on mobile. And since we are integrating more idle features or things you can quickly do, which tend to be more mobile focused because it's easy to grab your phone, send a dog on a mission, claim a mission, continue your day. We're not completely removing web as of yet.
Yes. And while you're explaining that, I'm after sending a sneak peek into the sneak peek channel for everyone to go check out. This is one of the new tanks coming. Here is the red version. Happy to share that with you guys. Thanks for voting. So while people are looking at that, that's kind of like the overview of what we're planning to do in the next build, basically, and so on. And then we also have planning for the rest of 2023. So what we want to come in Q4, as you explained a bit earlier. So I want to go into that list on the roadmap a little bit, Daniel. So one of the things I think is really fun that we've mentioned is PvE. Would you like to expand a bit on that?
Yes, I would like to. We are working on a complete PvE mode where you are able to play a campaign, play missions, play with your tanks, all the stuff you do, fight a bunch of waves of enemies coming your way. We're implementing boss fights into this. We're implementing special items and rare resources, and even new tanks and characters you can collect from defeating these bosses. And this will be you are able to play this offline on your own experience.
That's really nice. And can you give us like an example of how a boss fight would work? Just a random one.
Ooh, okay. For example, we have the scatter turret, which shoots multiple projectiles, and we have the Minotaur tracks who, if they dash, they hit you. So we have one created where it's just that tank scaled up very hugely, charging at you and spawning a bunch of tiny enemy tanks that also fight you. You have to kill it to stay alive in like an arena type situation.
That is so cool. I haven't even heard that yet for the people listening. So having the idea of like one massive tank and then it's all these little minions going after you. And then of course like this is like bosses and that's only one boss, right? We can expect like multiple of them, right?
Oh yes. We're how the PvE is set up is that there's a bunch of different worlds you can explore based on all the maps we have added and maps we are adding in the future. Because I saw a comment that do you still plan to provide the mushroom map? Yes, we are. There are in total 8 different maps planned, like themes, and we are making a map in that theme for each game mode. We are making a bunch of new maps for the PvE mode as well. So they are also coming new. There are coming new environments and also coming new game modes, new maps, ways to play.
Sick. And I like that we can finally say stuff about like mushroom map and so on, that these things are coming. And another thing we mentioned in the roadmap is like a HD remaster where everything will be turning 3D. So could you tell the community what this means? Is Panzerdogs maps going to look completely different, or how are they going to work?
Yes. Why we haven't released new maps in a while is because we are switching the maps to a different perspective and art style. Well, the perspective is going to stay the same. It's just that the maps are going to be made out of 3D assets instead of being purely 2D pixel art. We do this because currently you fight from left to right or right to left, and we want this to be streamlined and the same for everybody, and for players to look more at the center of their screen. So what we are doing is we are creating the same map environments in 3D, and you will always be fighting upwards because the enemy will spawn on the opposite side of you. But if you are the enemy team, the map can simply just flip around, and all of the assets will still be in the same place. It's 3D. Because if we flip the 2D map upside down, it's just all the art but upside down. So that's a current limitation with the 2D art style that we chose. We might be able to sneak peek some 3D assets soon,
I'd love to
actually.
see that. I'd love to see that. Send them to me as soon as you can, and I will spill it all in Discord, and I'll tag everyone just to see it. But yeah, I really like the concept also of everyone looking more towards the center of their screen, and seeing the same perspective. And I see a question that goes directly into this: if it will stay in the retro game style.
Yes, we are planning on updating it a little bit because currently the pixel art can feel a little bit mismatched. So we are streamlining all of the art. We are still adding that cool retro nostalgia sauce on top of it through certain visual effects, sounds, etc. However, the main art style will change a little bit. More on how this specifically looks will post in sneak peeks that are up and coming. However, we are not fully straying away from everything we built. It's simply just a HD remaster, so to say.
I love the sound of that Panzerdogs HD remaster. It sounds so good. And yeah, I think like another thing with that, like how we keep the retro element, is with the new, like there's new bullet types also, like, right? So there's some retro elements like in the style of those bullets. Do you want to spill some beans on that?
Um, yes, we are experimenting with also turning the bullets 3D, meaning that it will exist out of a 3D model that is being shot, which is the bullet, and visual effects surrounding it that is just the gun firing or fire or ice or whatever the bullet does. Because if they are 3D objects, we can easily change them out, meaning that tanks could fire anything. So, for example, if you had a tank that was a DJ booth, shoot out music notes, or if you had a tank that was a bathtub, it could shoot out rubber duckies or bubbles. And we are planning to keep the 3D models very streamlined and mobile friendly. Think of other games on mobile that use a very like stylized, cartoony aesthetic, and we are planning to add on top of that a very retro arcade VFX and sounds and feeling to it.
Let's go. That is so cool. Like especially like with the like rubber duckies like idea. I think that's sick. Or like the retro like pixel art and with the music and so on. It all marries nice into each other, and I think Panzer Dogs is definitely going into it. It's like, I mean, I think we're going into the next stage anyway, but with the amount that's being added and kind of the lead up towards this, I think it's definitely a new chapter for Panzer Dogs, right? Like a new upgrade, new level completely, right, Daniel? We're stepping outside of our comfort zone a lot too.
Definitely, we have had a lot of like growing pains when moving to Sui in the beginning. Kind of needing to land on our feet and see what the technology offers us and getting familiar with it. And now that we have done that and see what all the stuff that is possible, we are going ham and developing all these systems and also tying all of this back into NFTs so they have direct gameplay utility. Um, and I think we'll have a completely different community and completely different game, so to say, at the start of next year when all of this stuff is in. It'd be more than just playing the same match over and over. You actually feel like you are growing your army, meeting new dog characters, blowing up bosses, earning a bunch of cool rewards in the meantime.
Exactly. It's gonna put like those staying up late nights to Panzer Dogs, like trying to get through the PvE and so on. And I think like people will create a lot more like of a relationship with meeting these new characters and the personality that's being added. And as you said, it adds a whole new layer just in PvP mode. You know, having this PvE is like good thing for when maybe no one's online at a certain time or so on. And I think it will give the community a lot to talk about. So really cool things coming in the future. So thanks, Daniel, for elaborating a bit on what's coming at the end of Q4. One last thing I want to discuss out of the questions I have for you regarding the roadmap, is we have also updated some things to our white paper, I believe. I haven't made the official announcement yet. Do you have any, like, Daniel, just a brief update of what has been updated in the white paper, what people can expect before they go read it later?
Everything I said today, I think,
Yeah.
because I updated it myself. I have updated the renting system, turned it to the idle contracts. I've added all the idle earning stuff. I made a whole section detailing all the gameplay utility of each individual NFT type. So, like, what do dogs do? What does equipment do? What does tank parts do? Also, what upgrading does, the future systems we have for how you can further upgrade your stuff. What have I changed more? Bunch of other stuff to be in line with all the new systems we have worked out.
Perfect. So yeah, guys, after this AMA, if you want to go check out the white paper, go for it. This AMA session will be recorded, like I said earlier. So yeah. I see some questions lining up. I will get to those questions soon. I just have one other big thing that I want to discuss with you, Daniel, is we mentioned, of course, Panzer Pass or Seasonal Battle Pass is going to be extended for new users, and we can also fix up some things in the meanwhile and get new features out. We've hinted a lot about like monthly seasons and things being loot heavy. So I want to ask Daniel what players should expect from future Panzer Pass seasons and when we can expect them, for example.
We have tested a bunch of stuff with the Great Panzer Pass season, and we want to change it to be a monthly season, as you said, where just you play it, you get new stuff every month. We want to make this more resource focused, so you get a bunch of the stuff that you need to upgrade all your tanks, all your dogs, maybe even get new tanks and new dogs, etc. However, we just need to wait on some more of the systems to be fully cooked before we can implement that. Meaning that once October ends and this season ends, we will not have a Panzerdogs Season 2 until next year, when we come back full and strong with all the new systems. You are still able to stake your dog to get it fully for free every month. It will just include a bunch of new rewards and a bunch of new systems that we are waiting and still cooking on.
Sounds good, sounds good. So yeah, everyone, that's what the future of Panzer Pass holds. And I've seen community feedback on Panzer Pass recently. Like a lot of people like leveled up quite quickly, maybe, and got through like the Panzer Pass to level 50, whether it's because they had a lot of dogs or they grinded and so on. So Daniel, I think it's a community note basically. If we can make even more levels or more to Panzer Dogs, like to the Panzer Pass, like, do you have any ideas of ways that we could do that, or do you just want to keep a cap on 50 levels of Panzer Pass and that's it? And if players want to play more, they can just play the regular game. How do you kind of see this feedback point, and what would be your comment to it?
We don't intend for the Panzer Pass to be the main progression of the game. It is just kind of a bonus to earn extra cool stuff. The main progression is intended to be upgrading your entire army and all your stuff and all your dogs, and also gaining new NFTs, gaining new tanks, gaining new avatars even. So the Panzer Pass is a stepping stone to help you get a bunch of stuff for a relatively low price. So we are sticking to a set level amount and just increased earnings if you already own a dog. And resetting that every month so you can get more and more and more and more often, instead of having to grind for 3 months to get it all.
Sounds good, sounds good. So yeah, everyone, that's the kind of TLDR on what Panzer Pass is going to offer for future seasons. And as Daniel said, that's just going to be a side thing in amongst many other things. And I want to round off on my last question to you, Daniel, before we get to some more community questions. It's nearly 2024, and as you said, Panzerdogs is going to be something new at that point. It's going to be a lot more features. This has been a really fun session, and we've got some deep insights to what's coming next. Is there any other things you want to hint to through a cryptic message that's coming in 2024? I know it's long in the horizon, but you're a very good planner. Anything you want to say about what could be coming? Any final hints?
Um, well, some pieces of the puzzle might have already been given out, with me talking about being able to earn dogs and tanks. And as far as I know, some of those are NFTs. So maybe some of the earn mechanics will be being able to earn or craft or create your own NFTs and further customize those to be however you want. And maybe you can also join tournaments and get a bunch of cool resources and a bunch of premium currencies as well. Um, and maybe all that stuff will just update and change on a monthly basis where we look at new stuff. Ooh, maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
I want to say for the community, Daniel dropped something very smoothly in there that you will not get for some time, but I'm going to reference this, Daniel, in the future. I think you know what I mean, something you said in there. But yeah, that's really cool. And I think, like, I want to thank again, like, to the community, you know, like you guys with your patience for waiting. We're cooking up some really cool stuff. And Daniel also to the team about, like, how things are going and stuff. And, like, you guys are putting in a lot of effort to making Panzer Dogs the best game it can be, and like I think we're going to be moving out of then alpha phase, right, and going into the next.
Definitely.
Yes, that sounds really cool. So to the everyone in the chat, I'm going to go through some questions now. So if you have some questions for Daniel about Panzer Dogs, about the future, about everything else, feel free to ask. I'm going to go up to the top when people are asking the questions and kind of work my way down through. I know there's one question that everyone is really dying to hear. I think we will get to that very soon. One question we have is, will non-premium Panzer Pass players get more quests per day? 2 seems like a low amount if they only give 200 points.
We are taking a look at the balance for the Panzer Pass since we're changing it monthly. I cannot speak to this as of this moment. We think 2 is a fair amount since the bulk of the XP is coming from the weekly missions. The 2 daily ones are just like a small little bonus or easy thing you can do in a game session. So as of now, we are looking at it, making sure that it's actually feasible and not a death grind that you need to maximize to optimally get every level. We don't want Panzer Dogs to be a job. We want it to be a fun game. So we're looking at it, but as of specific numbers, I cannot say as of right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had another question from Wombat. We answered it earlier, but I'm going to get to it again. Is there any possibility to be a beta tester? Often in the community, like we're going to try to get more like community builds made. So before a big update goes out to anyone else, the community will get to play it first through test flight. It's been done in the past, and Daniel mentioned that like there's a lot going to be coming in bits and pieces throughout the next month. So we're going to try to get some new systems for you guys to play out. So you will get to be a beta tester with the other people in the Discord server. Then the next question is, have to ask, is Koban still on track for 2023?
The whole Koban stuff is done by a different team, so we have no direct impact on what happens to it. When there is an update we can give, you'll be the first to know, especially the mods.
Yeah.
It is handled by a different team. When there's any change, we'll update you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna move on to the next question. YK Razzle is saying thanks for the update. Super excited, really super excited too. Then Daniel Kai has a question. Will Panzer Dogs be featured in the Bullshark Quest 3?
No comment? Question mark?
Okay. We'll leave it at there. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in. But what we done last time, which I want to introduce again, is dropping some gems. So Daniel, we've had some really cool guests today in the chat. People like yourself also joining in the talk. I'm gonna put all the pressure on you and ask you to choose 3 people to get a prize, a bigger prize, and then we're gonna give a prize to everyone else in the audience. So I'm gonna let you choose 3 people who maybe asked a question or something you liked, or whether they were here for the whole session. You can give them a certain amount of gems, scrap, whatever, and then we'll give something to the general audience too. The power is in your hands.
Oh no. Let's give 500 gems
Oh,
to. I think that's a fair number. That's fine. To let's have a look who asked good questions. Where's the chat? There's the chat. Okay, so 500 gems to Wombat,
yeah, I think
Trevin, and to Razzle.
nice. I really also want to give a shout out to Wombat. Wombat, you've been amazing with giving the bug list and the feedback and that. Really appreciate it. So I think you definitely deserve this 500 gems. Same for the rest who won it. I see we have another question before we go to what we're going to give the whole round of people. So Kyle joined a bit late. So Kyle tried transferring a Panzerdog from one wallet to another and it was rejected. I was told it was for royalty purposes. Can we share any more on that, Daniel, regarding ownership of assets, buying, selling, and trading?
Yes, we are working on getting partnerships with mobile wallets, like getting all of that working and sorted out. There is some. We are. How do I say this? Dependent on external parties that we do not have any effect over. So we're kind of waiting on them to integrate this to make that whole process way easier for everybody. It is just, it takes time because it's people in another time zone who have to do this stuff. But the moment we are pushing for it, the moment it is completely integrated and done, all of it should be super easy, well able to be well understood, and most of it should fully be able to be done in the game itself. More on that to come once we figure it all out.
Let's go. And then my last question for you, Daniel, before we round things up. We're after giving 500 gems to three special people. Let's give everyone on the floor and everyone who's joined something. Name a figure.
Let's say 250 gems for everybody.
Damn, that's a premium loot box. Let's go, everyone. Drop your friend codes. I most likely have you guys friend codes, but if you never competed in any like stealth missions or anything on Discord, drop your friend code. I have taken a photo of which people have joined throughout the session, so you're all going to be getting 250 gems. And I want to say this was a really, really fun session, Daniel. Thank you for taking some time off your busy schedule of planning with dogs and tanks to come and talk with the community a bit. Very exciting stuff in the pipeline and a lot to come before the end of the year and coming next year too. So I want to thank you, Daniel, very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you here on the
battlefield. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here because at the end of the day, all the stuff we are making is for the community. Yeah. So the more I get to sneakily share about it before it's done, because everybody in the team is also super excited about all the cool stuff that we are working on, which means that the moment it gets closer, we can actually share it. Everybody is super excited to see everybody's reaction to all the cool things we are sneak peeking. I have updated the whole white paper, so a bunch of the stuff is now out in the open, so we can actually share and sneak peek different things we are working on. So I'm really, really excited for the coming quarter.
Me too, and I think it's actually funny to say that, like, as a community manager, I actually show, like, because all the devs are busy working, and, like, some of the devs are dropping in and by, but, like, weekly I show the team what you guys are saying on Discord and stuff, so the team is also aware of the hype from the community and questions and so on. And speaking of the community, I really want to say thank you to everyone who has come into this AMA. We've had like a good few people come in, drop by for a few minutes, drop out. I want to thank you guys again. Thank you for like waiting. A lot of cool stuff is coming, and yeah, you've just seen the start of Panzerdogs practically. I'm going to send everyone their 250 gems after the session. This is also recorded and it will be put on YouTube, so you guys can go back and listen to certain elements of this. So that's everything from Panzer Perspective 6. Again, thank you all for coming in. It's been a really fun session. And yeah, thank you again, Daniel.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you guys on the battlefield.